back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today I'm going to go over a story which is the longest running story on this channel, and probably ever, which is titled, While Wife Thought Her Affair Was Going Unnoticed, Husband Was Playing the Long Game Preparing for War. And before I get into this real quick, guys, as you can see, I'm not in the car. I'm in a hotel room in Boston. I'm up here for a few days seeing some friends, so obviously show must go on. So bear with me here in terms of the audio and all that. I can't talk too loud in my usual boisterous self, otherwise somebody in the room will call security and you know how that go. But anyhow, guys, our guy has yet another update, and I knew I'd get a new one before the year's end. We may not get 25 before the year's end, but maybe 24. But anyhow, this guy here, he is now updating how he's doing, and pretty much it's been 1 year since everything went down with his wife. And he's going to share his perspective on the whole thing, and it's pretty darn good. And I might add, he mentions later on in the story my name and another channel that's been covering his story here, so it's pretty cool to hear that. So, jumping into it, he says here, holy shit, it has been a whole year. So much has changed. December 7th, 2024, I was a clueless husband thinking I had a great marriage. She was super affectionate, making a lot of effort to give me gifts, seducing me, and telling me how great I am. How lucky she was to have a great guy like me and doing way more than her fair share of housework. In other words, he was getting the love bombing. He says, bros, I thought I had the easy mode all the time. Then I saw an email notification on my wife's computer with the subject, lunch tomorrow, ? Saying things like, hey honey, and I was like, honey. I opened up the email, and here's where I'm supposed to apologize for invading her privacy, but fuck that. If someone calls my wife honey, and they're not some 70-year-old alcoholic grandma with a lit cigarette, slurring from a bar stool, I'm fucking looking at it. Yeah, I don't recall, because it's been so long, if she was giving him a hard time for looking at her phone, but if she did, that'd be very typical. He says, the email ended with the, you're incredible. I can't stop thinking about last night. After looking through the previous emails, this was the first one that had a terms of endearment. I guess he was getting sloppy. There were previous emails calling her stunning, beautiful, and plenty of other ones of the hotel booked usual place. As calling for a schedule, blah, blah, blah. I think it was purposely like that so it would read like she was a personal assistant. Says here, it's like I panicked and froze at the same time. I'm kind of glad I did, because if I'd only panicked, I would have just gone to the gym and yelled at her, which would have screwed me in the divorce, I'm sure. Hell, I probably would have ended up arrested. Some dude screaming at a petite, beautiful blonde girl at the gym in public. Yeah, that would not have turned out great for me. Yeah, exactly. I mean, most people, they see a guy and a gal fighting in public. Think about it, guys. They're immediately going to side with the girl, especially if she's crying or acting like she's in danger, even though plenty of times it is warranted for the guy yelling at her. But that's just how we were conditioned. That one email notification set off a chain of events that radically changed my life. I got the evidence, hired a PI, got a lawyer, informed the betrayed spouse, Lisa, and Emily burned all her gifts from John on my grill. We signed the papers where Emily read off the shittiest erotic story that I ever heard. I had you-know-what with someone other than my wife for the first time, and now we're here 1 year later. If I could tell my past self something on December 7th, 2024, it would be brace yourself, motherfucker. Yeah, a whole year of this, you know? But this guy is awesome. He has a great sense of humor given what he's been through. And, you know, Reddit and all you guys watching this have definitely helped him out, which is really cool. He says, I got a sweetheart deal from this divorce. That doesn't hurt any less, though. I know it could have been way, way worse. We didn't have any kids. I was lucky enough to file an at-fault state where adultery makes a difference in divorce. I had all the evidence. Hell, she confessed to all of it in the texts and emails. Adultery subreddit pro tip, deny everything until the very end because you may be in an at-fault divorce state. Research it before you unzip your pants, for God's sake. Normally I have this written on paper, but I'm in the hotel, so I'm using my laptop here. He says, as for Lisa and John's divorce goes, and for John's the guy banging his now ex-wife, I think he's betting on Lisa taking a settlement for less than she's due just from sheer attrition. No news on that front other than John's kids don't want to spend the holidays with him. What a shock. I picture him out in the cold, bundled up and shivering with a big frown on his face, weakly scratching at the window, while his wife and kids eat a crazy meal with open, expensive gifts and tell each other how much they love each other. That makes me happy. Well, everything bad that happens to that guy that was hooking up with his wife, he deserves it. After getting the evidence we had after getting all the evidence we had and her confession early on, and knowing that Emily is not rich, my lawyer knew it wouldn't go to trial. It was pretty much a slam dunk for me. That's why she took Lisa's case after a signed waiver from each of us. I went back and read all my posts, and one passage stood out to me where she was frustrated because I stopped having you-know-what with her. Knowing what I know now, I think that was probably because I foiled her little baby-making strategy. Curses. I don't know for sure, though. Yeah, I do recall she wanted to, obviously, his now ex-wife, sleep with him because, well, if she got pregnant, she would think a guy like him would end it with her, but I think he would have. I haven't had any direct contact with Emily since signing papers with her at the lawyer's office. She cut her hair really short, stopped dyeing it, and she got sad because I was at a party with another woman. That's all I know, and I didn't even want to know that. I spent Thanksgiving with my dad and his girl. She had 2 grown sons. It was a pleasant time. Shreya, remember Shreya is the Indian babe he's been seeing. She's here in the U.S., but soon she's going to go back to India and obviously be arranged to somebody, but he's getting laid and eating good food, so fine. Shreya spent Thanksgiving with her friends. I might be mistaken, but it didn't sound to me like her crowd made Thanksgiving a big deal. She's leaving for India on the 16th of December. Depending on what happens there, she might come back for a while, or just long enough to pack up her life here and skedaddle off to married bliss. So she's here having her fun as a single woman, and he describes her as dressing very skimpy to the gym and all that, and then she's going to go off to India and marry Raj, or whatever the fuck his name is, and act like the perfect little wife, and Raj has no idea. I'm going back to my dad's again for Christmas. I'm sure my dad's girlfriend and her sons will be there as well. She's a widow, my dad's a widower, so they're bonding over that. She and her kids are good enough company to spend the holidays with, if Thanksgiving was any indication. Good, I'm glad he's having a good time spending time with family and friends. And banging Shreya. I'm helping to move all of Shreya's stuff to a storage unit this weekend, and then she'll stay with me for a couple days, and I'll take her to the airport. Now listen to this part. He says, I'm kind of indifferent about it. It's kind of the same feeling as if your cousin let you borrow his elite supercar while he's on a long trip, and then he returns and gets it back from you. Yeah, it kind of sucks that you don't have to be there anymore, but you knew it wasn't yours too good to begin with. So, you notice he said he's indifferent about it. That's the place to be. He's having a good time with her, but she's got to go. Okay, great time. Thanks for the memories. If you come back, great. If not, hey, life will go on. That's what you got to be, and he's learning this. And of course, that's probably what drew her into him, his indifference. If Shreya doesn't find anybody, she'll come back and maybe we'll start up again. I'm pretty sure she'll get engaged though. She's from a good family and she's beautiful in her mid-20s. Probably. But he keeps his options open. It doesn't work out with Raj. You know? Okay, come back. We'll have a good time. And you can cook for me. I'm back to my old gym now. It has a pool, so I'm happy. I didn't get much swimming in before, and now it shows. Thanks to Shreya cooking for me and my lack of self-control, I'm about 15 pounds heavier than I was this time last year. Smack! No. I get Indian cooking is awesome. I love it. Frankly, I could use an Indian girlfriend because I think they're smoking hot, as long as she's young. But no. He should not allow himself to gain 15 pounds. He's got to lose that weight. Before today, I think part of me was in a fist fight with the past. Like if I deny it enough, it'll change. Stupid, I know. If I keep shouting at it and claiming how wrong and unjust it was, it'll somehow loop back on itself and become right again. I think I just need to accept it all. It happened. It didn't not happen. Move on with my life. See, it's a roller coaster for him. It's still been a year, but he's going to be all right. I'm not whining or there's no depression or cutting myself off from life will make it right or wrong. It's wrong. It'll always be wrong, but it's not my whole life. It's just a piece of what's of that, and it's left behind. It only fucks up my present and future if I allow it to. It's easy for me to say this, but living is the key. What I'm trying to do, pray for me, y'all. Well, you got a lot of people on board for this guy, rooting for him. And yeah. Now he's going to get into lessons learned. And that's a lot, but it's important. Especially for any of you guys out there that may be going through the same thing. Lessons learned. There's always a reason for drastic behavior changes, and sticking your fingers in your ears and shouting la la la. It's not the correct response. I think maybe this whole thing may have been avoided, or at least less time wasted, if I had just asked her about her behavior changes at the very beginning and been very insistent upon getting a straight answer and investigating it as well. Bro, woulda, coulda, shoulda. What's done is done, you know? I mean, he could have asked her, he could have really dug, but still she would have lied through her teeth. The person who ruins a relationship does not dictate its outcome. If you screw up a relationship, just admit it, ask the person you're wrong what they want to do while telling them what you want to happen, and then just accept the consequences with grace and fuck off on the sidelines if that's what the wrong party dictates. Talking to cheating women and men both here. Silence is strength. The best way to punish a cheater and simultaneously begin to heal is by not saying anything to them. Well, yes, the silence drives, and women in particular, crazy. Think about it. Even if you want to reconcile, you need to get that knife out of your back and stitch the cut before you negotiate with the terrorist. When you're still bleeding, you don't have the right mind to figure out your shit. Well, you never negotiate with terrorists. Anything you say in the heat of the moment can and will be used against you in a divorce court. It'll come back and haunt you later. It'll give them a basis for defense with friends and family. Silence also gives you the opportunity to collect evidence against the cheater so you can overwhelm them with the truth. Which leads me to the following. Controlling the narrative. You heard what he said there? You always got to control the narrative, guys. Control it with friends and family is more important than financial division in a divorce. I'm sure this will be controversial. Maybe it's because I'm a people pleaser or something, but I'd rather lose most of my assets and let everyone know that I'm the wrong party than vice versa. No thank you. I would rather have people think I'm a jerk and not lose my assets instead of that. But he's different than me. He says relationships are worth more than money. More than recordings, even if they're illegal. You won't be able to use the recordings in court, but you will be able to show your friends and relatives the truth. Remember in the beginning, guys, when he was recording her, and he found out that he obviously could not use that in court because that was illegal? But he has a good point. Those recordings can help unconvinced or doubtful friends and family. Just don't let her know that you got the recordings. To me, that is more important. No one ever went to jail for recording their cheating spouse unless it was part of some greater illegal activity. At worst, they'll plead down to a fine and maybe community service. I'm not a lawyer, but talking to lawyers, they say a jury wouldn't convict you, and in these types of cases, a judge prefers a civil penalty rather than jail time. Just don't publicly post the recordings. Play them in person. It may even be important in the future with relationships to prove you're not a cheater in the relationship. Well, that's an interesting point. If you aid or abet a cheater, male or female, you are a scumbag, period. Fix yourself, you're subhuman. A true friend points out shitty behavior and expects a certain level of behavior from the people they call friends. Boundaries are useless unless they are enforced. Yes, our guy's learning here. Unenforced boundaries make you look weaker than a person with no boundaries. I think the fact that I didn't enforce boundaries to Emily early on gave her the notion that I would accept her infidelity. See that? These are all things that he's learned, things I talk about all the time. And I know a lot of you guys know. You got to set your boundaries and you got to enforce your boundaries. And if you don't enforce them, yes, you look weak, and that is the worst thing you could ever do. If I had stuck to my boundaries, the cheating either wouldn't have happened or we'd be divorced for irreconcilable differences, and I wouldn't feel as emasculated and heartbroken as I do now. A good lawyer makes all the difference in a contentious divorce case. Beg, borrow, or steal to get one. Yes. Well, he got a darn good lawyer, thank God. Get a prenuptial agreement. I didn't do this. Get it after the proposal, but way before the wedding date. Not the day before. Get a lawyer to draw it up. Get another different lawyer to advocate for your potential spouse. Come to an agreement, put in as a severe infidelity clause as you can get away with. Throw in an abuse clause and an abandonment clause for good measure. Come up with an equitable distribution plan while you still love each other. Well, there may not be a lot of love after you tell her you want a prenup, but you got to do it, guys, but do it right. Just exactly what he said. On the other channel, I had a lawyer once write in about all the things you got to do ahead of time, and he made it clear. Have some time before the wedding that you do this. You both have your own prenups, and you come to an agreement. Yeah. He goes on saying, people will tell you that they nullify prenups, but they only do that if they're signed under duress, like if they're thrown at you the day before the wedding, if they contain stupid or unrealistic terms. You get nothing if you get fat, or just filled out form you get from the lawyers for free. Sure, you can fight a prenup if you have a lot of money to go to court, but 99% of the time, you don't. So the judge just invokes the prenup because that's the easy thing to do. They don't want to work hard, and the next case in their docket is a couple who don't have a prenup. You have car insurance, health insurance, home insurance, and life insurance. You never want to have to use your insurance. A prenup is marriage insurance. That's a good point. But looking back, I think I've taken more than I've given. I've leached validation, advice, and warm feelings from all you wonderful people like some kind of vampire. There are no words to express the appreciation I have for you, kind people on Reddit. This includes people telling my story online like SSM. Hey, shout out, thank you. I may not agree with all of what you represent, but I hear what you and your listeners say and the support you give, and I take it to heart. Well, bro, we love you over here. You have a great story. You're an awesome dude. That's okay. You don't agree with everything I say or the guys in the comment section. It'd be crazy. It'd be surprising if you did. But I think we see eye to eye on a great majority of things. I'm a big fan of you. So you're doing awesome. I don't take it frivolously, and I can't express my appreciation for you all adequately enough. I'm humbled by all the support I've gotten here, and I feel like a leech sometimes. But here I am, appreciating and loving your support and validation. It means more than I can express with words. Thank you very much. Well, people keep coming back to read his stories and watch these videos, so bro, you're not a leech. If you watch this, you're not a leech. I know this has helped you out, so that's great. Here's to a better year next year. 2025 can fuck right off. As far as my future goes, I'm going to put myself out there. I'll be open. I do feel a little sorry for any future partner because I'm at a point where I will not tolerate any bullshit anymore. I mean, I'm willing to just turn and walk away at the first hint of bullshit with zero apology and zero excuse. Nope, no thank you, ma'am. Good luck in whatever you do going forward. I'm out. I'm done for good, and there are no second chances in my world. My tolerance for relationship bullshit is so low that I feel any dating profile of mine should start with an apology and a disclaimer. Hear that, guys? He ain't tolerating the bullshit anymore. Our guy has been reborn. Now, these are things I talk about quite often. And so, what's funny is his indifference to the Indian babe, Shreya, if I'm pronouncing that right, and he's shown he can do that. And so with future dates and relationships, if he has this indifferent attitude and doesn't tolerate any crap, he's going to be up to his eyeballs in pussy. And you know what? Our guy deserves that, as long as he's careful. For God's sakes, always wear protection. And lose that 15 pounds. So he finishes up saying, so grab whatever bourbon is on hand and give me a toast. I made it. A whole year without eating a bullet or compromising my self-respect. I'm right there with you. FYI, if you live in the American South and you start dating a beautiful blonde hair makeup artist, be sure and ask her how her last relationship ended. If she stutters, looks off to the side without hesitating, or otherwise hems and haws, excuse yourself to the restroom and run like hell. So there you go, guys. That is his 1 year update. His first video, I believe, was in February 2025, but this is when all the shit went down last December. And so I think it's a great one to hear. I think it's great he's doing well. He's reflecting on all the things he's learned, because aside from entertainment, we're here to learn things, and he's doing a great job there. And I still think we may have 1 or 2 more episodes before the end of the year. I was determined we were going to get episode 25 by December 31st. I may be wrong, but you never know. Maybe 1 more. So if he sees this, hey man, you've got a great story. We're here with you. Really got a lot of support for you. You've been through hell and back, and your story has helped a lot of guys. And for all you guys watching this, I appreciate you doing that. You guys have obviously really enjoyed it. And any more updates he has, I'll definitely cover it. So, all right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Again, thanks for bearing with me in the room. I don't know how this is going to sound in the audio. I'll do what I can in the editing feature, but it is what it is. I'll be doing a few more days of the in-room videos, and then I'll be back to South Florida on Sunday. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.